Hi, I need to talk to you about the other kinds of phrases besides prepositional phrases. And I guess we talked a little bit about verb phrases and participial phrases. But now I want to talk to you about the other ones. Well, the other three that we're going to cover this year. A gerund is an ing verb that's used as a noun. For example, swimming is good exercise. In that sentence, swimming is used as the subject of the sentence. Therefore, it's a noun. Therefore, it's a gerund. A gerund phrase is a gerund, like swimming, plus any modifiers and or objects. For example, I like swimming in my pool. The entire phrase, swimming in my pool, is what I like. Okay? So that whole phrase is the direct object, and that whole phrase acts like a noun, okay? Because it's the direct object. Walking softly is his secret. In this case, we have an adverb describing the verb walking, and then we're going to turn around and use that whole thing, walking softly, as the subject of the sentence. So, walking softly is his secret. Sometimes gerund phrases can be confused with participial phrases. So this is not a gerund. Sighing to himself, he closed the book. The subject of the sentence is he. We know that because he is the one doing the action of closing the book, which is the main thing happening here. Sighing to himself is a participial phrase used to describe the subject. We already talked about participial phrases last time, how they are used as adjectives. It looks the same as a gerund phrase. It's what it does in the sentence. Like I've said before, I will say it again. Whatever it does in the sentence is what counts. Sometimes gerund phrases can be confused with predicates. This also is not a gerund. Same phrase. He was sighing to himself. There is no other verb in that sentence. And also, you can see that there is the helping verb, that's a be verb, was, right before the ing verb. When you have an ing verb with a be verb right in front of it, you are using the present progressive tense. So actually, was sighing is the simple predicate of the sentence. It's not, and to himself is an adverb phrase. Already talked about that. An infinitive is a verb attached to the word to, like this, to run. To run is an infinitive, okay? Notice that I also used the word to here, and sometimes people get confused with that because it's the same word, but here it is used as a preposition. We know that because word is the object of the preposition. There's no verb in there, okay? So preposition to goes with a noun. If to is connected with a verb, it is an infinitive. It can act like a noun. I want to run. Kind of like this sentence up here, this phrase acts like the direct object. It tells what I want. It can also act like an adjective. Here we have an infinitive phrase, which, like a gerund phrase, includes any kind of modifiers that you might have. She has a goal to run a mile. So that whole thing, to run a mile, is the infinitive phrase, and it is acting like an adjective telling which goal we're talking about. And an infinitive or infinitive phrase can also act like an adverb. She's qualified to run in the Olympics. So the whole thing, to run in the Olympics, that whole thing tells how she's qualified or why she's qualified. She's qualified to run in the Olympics. It modifies the verb qualified. And a positive, you could use the verb qualified here as a verb. It could also be thought of as a predicate adjective. Participle is a predicate adjective. And I think I probably lost you. It's okay. And a positive is inserted into a sentence to rename or identify a noun. So in this case, my brother Tracy is a chef. I put commas around Tracy because I only have one brother, and so it's just renaming my brother. It doesn't restrict the meaning at all. We're talking about the same person. Okay? If I were to say my friend Tracy, well, I have more than one friend, and so I wouldn't need the commas. But in this case, I only have one brother, so no, I have commas. And a positive phrase includes modifiers. Tracy, the chef at that hotel, is my brother. So the chef at that hotel, that whole thing, that whole phrase there renames Tracy. It includes an article, the. It includes at that hotel, which is a prepositional phrase. But the whole thing is what not modifies, but renames or identifies Tracy. So gerund phrases, infinitive phrases, appositive phrases, that's what we will be talking about in the meeting, and that's what your sentences will be about. That's all.